So we got a Gator in the shop here, and customer said that they charged the battery, they thought it was good, but what we've got is 11 volts. Oh, the lead came off. Of course it did. So we got 11 volts plugged into the harness. And we got the pedal. Watch. Volts dropped to nothing. So before we can diagnose what's wrong with it, you have to have a good battery. So we're going to swap it out to a decent battery that we know holds voltage and see what happens. Alright, we swapped to the known good battery. Shut that off. And when we press the pedal, both wheels are spinning in high gear. Both wheels are spinning in low gear, so that tells us it's not the motor. But when we hold it into reverse and do the pedal, nothing. So we know it's in the shifter. So what all you need to do is from underneath pull off the 4 little seat adjuster knobs. And this one I can't actually remove because it's attached to the linear actuator. But you're going to have to pull out these 2 screws, and then we'll look at the shifter switches. Alright, so before you actually unplug the shifter, take your Sharpie and label it, guys. You're going to also be a good idea to take a picture, but basically the fuse goes in the back, and then when you pop the shifter off, basically it just pops right off. But I can't really do it with one hand, so I'm going to pause the video here. Alright, so that's basically what it looks like. I've identified it with arrows so that when we go through these switches, I'm going to show you guys how to diagnose it so you know which one it is. Alright, so we've got just a cheapy Harbor Freight voltmeter, digital voltmeter, and we have it set to ohms. And this front one is to activate reverse. So the middle pin is always going to be live. That's where power comes in. So here you can see that there is no resistance. And when we push the lever, it goes to an open circuit. So it's closed, open. So when this one is closed, this other side should be open, right? Because all they do is toggle back and forth. So we switched it, and when we press this, see it's staying open, so it's telling me that there's resistance between the middle pin and this back one. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop those 2. Oh, that one already fell out on the other side where it was missing. So we're going to pop that out, and then it gets you into this switch. So maybe I'll put it on a tripod and I'll show you guys exactly what we do to clean these switches. So take lots of pictures, guys, so you can put this back the way that you took it apart. Alright, so now that you've got your shifter all apart, now in your workbench, all you're going to need is a small flat blade screwdriver, a wire brush, and we're going to use some of this electric cleaner. So we're going to leave the assembly all together. All we're going to do is we're going to pop off that and note which way that was, guys. And also note that this one is just a regular double throw. This one is actually spring loaded. So what you're going to do is you're going to take and you're going to pop the little rocker switch top off. Okay, so you can see that it has the 2 springs and they're in good shape, and sometimes those are rusty and you can use like ballpoint pen springs. So as you can see, what's in here is the center one. Like I said, the pin is always active, and then it's rocking like a seesaw back and forth. And what's happened is you can see that this one is really charred. I don't know if you guys can see that, but these 3 are all nice and silver. This one right here is like a burnt color, and unfortunately, this type of switch, you can't really get the contactors out. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna attempt to spray this. Get that all nice and soaking wet, and be careful so it doesn't spray in your eyes. I've got glasses on right now, but ideally I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a little pick, because what I like to do is I like to scrape the top of the contacts. So there's 2 silver contacts, and when it's activated it closes the circuit, but there's soot, you know, from spark that has prevented that complete circuit. So yeah, this style I never know until I open it up what the switches are going to look like, and this is kind of a newer one, but yeah, I can't get in there. So that's about as good as I can get it. I don't know if you guys can see that or not because of the lighting, but definitely this one had some heat put to it and it kept sparking over time. So what we're going to do now, I grabbed this just because I don't like how I didn't get that all the way clean, but this is dielectric grease. It will prevent rust and corrosion. So we're just going to put a little bit of that right in there. It'll help continuity too. I always think that this helps control the spark a little bit. So remember we had it oriented like this. All we're gonna do is we're gonna put the rocker back on. And sometimes you have to do it a couple times because you can see that this is bound up. So we're going to, what happened is the springs aren't lining up. So I've done this hundreds of times and it still happens to me. So what it is I don't think that these were lined up. So get those guys both going one way. There we go. Might as well put this guy back on. And now, prevent you from a lot of heartache, let's go ahead and I grab this digital voltmeter. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's also got a stand. So as you can see, that's an open circuit, closed circuit. I don't remember which side it was, so we're going to go ahead and test all of these. I'd rather test this now. So that one closes, see it goes to 0 resistance. Do it on this side. So that one should be closed, and then when you let off it opens. So you're going to go to the other side, do the exact same thing. It's kind of funny that, well, there was showing a little bit of resistance, but all right, flip it over to the last one. Drum roll. Resistance. No resistance. All right. So that means that we fixed our continuity issue. And the last step, what I like to do is, because this shifter, these two parts, actually like this, these two parts right here rub on each other. So what I like to do is just put a little bit of assembly lube, some like Molly lube or something like that. And then we're gonna go ahead and put this back together, put it back in, and hopefully we have reverse. Okay guys, I was editing the video and I really wasn't happy with the solution I came up with. So here is plan C. What I did is took a metal, they call it a sapphire nail file, and I ground it down so that it fits underneath the contactor, and you can wiggle it around and get all of that soot and junk or rust, whatever the case may be, because it kind of threw me off guard, because normally I'm used to these kind of switches where the contactors come out and you can just take and you can just clean them off. You can touch them up with some 320 sandpaper and then put them back in and put the cat back on. Well, these right here, the only thing that comes out is the spring. So if you guys don't want to mess with that, I'll put a link to buying a new switch. You want to make sure that it definitely has the reverse spring, or not. If you guys want it so that you can just put it in reverse and it'll stay there, just take that spring out. This is a different Peg Perego. The one that in the video had 2 springs, so they're all different. So it really threw me off guard, but I was not happy with the solution, so this is the best alternative. So took it on the old bench grinder and narrowed it down, and be careful not to bend it too much, because the tip broke off and I just ground it off again. But this will definitely get you in there and clean off any of that corrosion on there. All right, hope that helps. All right, so we got this all back together. We got the pins in, and for reference, this is the orientation, guys. So this goes into the back towards the bed. This kind of hooks in, and that hooks into 2 little grooves. And what you see is I put some tape here. From the factory, usually they have like that packaging tape. I don't have any, so I just used some house wrap tape. And you can see my switches with the arrows pointing forward. So we're gonna put this back into the wiring harness and fire it up and get you guys back on the road. All right, let's plug this back in, see how it goes. Both arrows pointing forward. Just line up your little prongs, wiggle that guy in there, and this can be the tricky part. There we go. All right, so put your screws in. Now I'm putting this together assuming that I fixed it, right? All right, so there's 2 high speed. Now for the problem one, drum roll. Put it in reverse. I don't know if you guys can see that over there in the corner, but we have reverse. So we fixed it. So that's it, guys. This will fix your original Gator, your Gator HPX, I think that's what it is. But it will not work on the newest Gator. That one has an integrated kind of shifter, and I'll put a picture of that right here. But anyways, guys, if you like this video and you want to see more repair videos, give us a thumbs up and a like. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.